The audition day can be nerve-wracking, but most in-person auditions share some things in common, and knowing these and what's expected of you will give you an advantage in your audition. In this part of the How to Audition series, we go through a standard audition from when you wake up to after the audition. We will talk about nerves and strategies for dealing with them, and offer tips to maximize your chances. If you have any questions on what to do before or after the audition day, be sure to watch the other videos in this series. Although some may associate auditioning with a traumatic event, this doesn't have to be the case, and it probably shouldn't be. Auditions are, like it or not, part of being a professional musician. But with good planning, preparation, and routines in place, you should be able to play your best without excessive nerves. Before we get into details, let's look at how an audition generally plays out. You wake up after a restful night's sleep and spend the morning getting ready to leave. Then you commute into the hall, aiming to have half an hour to warm up, allowing for contingencies. Usually I aim to arrive 45 minutes before the audition. At the hall, you'll register and be shown to a warm-up room where you can get comfortable and do your final preparation for the audition. You will be collected from your room and taken to the audition space, where you will play either in front of a panel or in front of a screen, after which you will be taken back to your warm-up room. Many auditions have multiple rounds where successful applicants will play further pieces or excerpts, so you may need to spend a few hours at the venue and move between several rooms. If you wait until the panel is finished deliberating, you can often ask for feedback on how you played. To make the process simpler, we'll break the audition day into 4 separate sections. If you've followed along with the other videos in this series, your preparation should be pretty solid by this point. If not, feel free to check them out for more information. Of interest should be the video on learning excerpts and the video on managing your time. Good preparation makes every other part of the audition process much easier, and it's always worth the time investment. On the audition day, you should have a solid plan. You should know when you're going to wake up. It's good to plan for at least 7.5 hours of sleep. In the UK, the NHS recommends around 8 hours of sleep to maintain good health. Why is this important for auditioning? Sleep deprivation is associated with fatigue, mood changes, difficulty concentrating, and memory problems, as well as a host of long-term health issues. If you want to audition at your best, mood changes and difficulty concentrating are important to avoid. You should plan what you are going to eat. Don't eat in a way that's likely to upset your stomach. This means know the effect of the food you eat on your body and don't eat too much or too little of it. You should plan how long you're going to spend warming up. Warming up has to be personalized for you and should allow you to feel comfortable without causing strain on your body. You should know how you are going to get to the hall. This is important. Plan for contingencies. If your bus gets stopped in traffic and you miss your time, in most cases you won't be given another. All of this should be shaped by your understanding of your body. My plan for a 2 p.m. audition 40 minutes away by train looks like this. I wake up at 7:30 and go for a short jog. At 9 I will have breakfast, usually something filling and reasonably low GI like rolled oats. The hope is that the energy will last me until I finish auditioning with no sugar slumps or spikes. At 10 I start to warm up, strictly slow and calm playing with a focus on fundamentals and good sound. After 2 hours of this, my body is responding well, I feel comfortable, and I can get ready to leave. At 12 I'll have a small meal to keep my energy up for the next few hours. I'll also bring some snacks like bananas to the venue. I leave by about 12:15, aiming to arrive at 1:15, allowing 20 extra minutes for the London transport system. Your mileage may vary depending on your city's infrastructure. Everything you do for the day of the audition is designed to lessen the load on your brain. The more pre-planning you do, the smoother your audition day can run. With that in mind, make a checklist of the things you'll need to bring to your audition. These will include your instrument. Don't forget your bow, mouthpiece, reeds, mallets, or other associated gear. Your music, if you're a string player, your dust cloth and your rosin. A metronome, a pencil, a snack, a book, a journal, and anything else you feel might make you more comfortable. For instance, bringing a photo of a loved one, or anything that can make you smile can be a nice touch and provide some warmth and familiarity in what can be a strange environment. Being familiar with the venue is a huge advantage. Things that can help to know are the tuning system of the piano, the acoustics of the space, how to enter and exit the building, who you can talk to if you need help, and where to get food if you need it. This knowledge can be hard to come by if you're traveling in from out of town or just don't know the building very well. It can be helpful to do an online search to see if there's a virtual tour of the building available, or to ask someone you know who works in the building. If you followed our previous advice of contacting someone who works in the section you're auditioning for, you can ask them to show you the room you'll be auditioning in. When you arrive at the venue, you'll need to register. There will be a list with your name on it at the reception of the building, often at the stage door, as well as someone there to give you more information. No matter how you're feeling at the moment, it's important to be as polite as possible to the administrators. They can make your life a lot easier, and often theirs is an unrewarding job. After you've registered, you may be taken to a warm-up room. Often, there aren't enough rooms for all the applicants. If this is the case, you'll either be asked to share one, or may have to wait for your turn to warm up. As before, you should have a plan for your warm-up. A quick note on semantics. This is called a warm-up room. It's for warming up. It is not for belting your concerto at double speed at maximum volume to unnerve your potential colleagues. This is obviously bad behavior. Ideally, nobody would do this, but rather than get upset, focus on your preparation and know that you're avoiding carpal tunnel, tendinitis, and repetitive strain injury, whereas others may be cutting their career short. Your warm-up should be used to get your blood flowing, to make sure you're in the right headspace through meditation and visualization, and generally to do your final preparations before the audition. My warm-up plan involves slow scales, arpeggios, calm bow exercises, and slow playthroughs of the pieces I've prepared. Visualization is an excellent way to prepare your mind for what's to come. Close your eyes. Picture the walk from your warm-up room to the hall. Picture yourself waiting outside the room for your turn, then see yourself walk through the door and play brilliantly for the panelists. Getting good at visualization and training your body to respond predictably can take time, so it's a good idea to start this practice at home in the weeks leading up to your audition. For more information on this technique, click the links in the description. When it's time for your audition, someone will knock on the door and collect you. My experience is that you will walk for several minutes through winding corridors before arriving at a closed door where you will wait for the person who's auditioning before you to finish. When it is your turn, you'll enter the room and see one of two things, either the panelists or a screen. If it is a screened audition, it's vital that you don't say anything. The screen is often a large curtain or a series of panels that stands between you and the auditioners. The point of the screen is to hide identifying factors from the panel to prevent nepotism and discrimination. Tuning is fine. Being respectful and pleasant to the accompanist is encouraged. Just don't speak. On the other hand, if the audition is unscreened, be nice to the panel. They've probably been sitting in those seats all day listening to the same pieces. They're probably bored, and anything that breaks up the monotony of their day will be welcome. Saying hello and smiling goes a long way. When you tune, listen to the hall. If you haven't had a chance to play in the hall before, this is a great chance to get used to the acoustic. Ideally, you will have tuned in your warm-up room, and this tuning can be spent coming to terms with your new situation. There are often up to 3 rounds in an audition. Having rounds is pretty standard, but the contents of each round may vary from audition to audition. So check with the organizer how your audition will be run. In many parts of Europe, it's common to play a classical concerto in the first round. The second round is often a standard set of excerpts. The third round is reserved for those who have made it through the first 2 rounds, and often has more excerpts or even a romantic concerto. After playing, I find it helpful to write in a journal how I feel things went. Because of stress and adrenaline, it's common to forget details quickly, and this can be a great way to work out the best way forward for future auditions. Don't forget that what you hear and how you feel it went is only a small piece of the puzzle, and isn't necessarily reflective of what the panel experienced or thought. It's definitely worth it to stick around until everyone has played. This is where the book that you brought comes in handy. After everyone has played, or occasionally between rounds, there's an opportunity to ask for feedback. This is invaluable, because you get to hear what the panelists experienced, and not just what you heard. Do remember to also thank them for their time. How long it takes to hear the results from your audition varies from country to country. In Germany and France, it's often immediate, whereas in England and Australia, it can take weeks. If you do have to wait, regular communication with the organizer is encouraged. Regardless of how it went, congratulations for your audition. If you want to hear more about planning and preparation for auditions, be sure to click on subscribe. And if you liked this video, be sure to click the like button. Feel free to post your audition day tips in the comments below, and I look forward to reading them.